Let's go ahead and move on to some OU and Kent State game breakdown. I watched the highlights. Granted, they were extended highlights, 30-minute highlight version of the Kent State and Washington game. Kent State was beat by Washington, if you didn't know, 45-20 last week up outside of Seattle. I think that's where the University of Washington is, sort of up there.
Yep.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for the confirmation. Appreciate
The head nod. Yes.
Just a little look at Kent State. You're looking at their quarterback. Colin Schlee is their quarterback. He's a kind of a mobile guy. From what I saw, he likes to run around a lot. And Kent State likes to go fast. They call it the flash fast offense. They picture Jeff Lebby's offense just in another uniform. They like to go fast, and they're going to continue to do it. They are going to try to take shots on the offensive side of the ball when they can. Their running game wasn't great. I felt like Washington's defensive line just ate that offensive line's lunch the entire game. And Schlee, their quarterback, his final stat line, in case you were wondering, 50% completion percentage, 178 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. So he didn't have a great game, but he is very mobile. It's something you're going to have to keep an eye on. Anybody else see anything from Kent State?
Well, they're going to push the ball down the field when they can. They're going to take those shots and hopefully test the secondary in a way that UTEP didn't really. UTEP only tried a shot down the field once or twice, and obviously we did stuff about it. And it would be cool to see our defense, particularly Key Lawrence, Billy Bowman, all of the stable of corners, deal with a little bit more of an aggressive, deep attack. I think it's interesting that Kent State is going against Washington last week with a first-year head coach, and now Oklahoma this week with a first-year head coach. If you're them, I don't know how you prepare for this game.
Yeah,
that sucks.
That's tough.
Like you got 1 week now on OU, but I just saw a report they are getting $5.2 million from OU to play it. So
the university is happy about that, but as the football team, they're just
I don't know.
It funds their whole season.
So Kent State's non-conference schedule is at Washington, at OU, at Georgia. So those 3 games were booked by the previous athletic director. So the dude who's the athletic director at Kent State now didn't even book those games. So they're going to get paid for all of those games, but they're going to take their lumps.
They're going to work for it.
Yeah, they're going to take their lumps for it. But that's the way college football works right now with those smaller programs. But to be fair, Kent State picked to win their division in the MAC. Yeah. They're a solid football team. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and beat OU. That's not what I'm saying at all. But they're a team that has some weapons. And specifically, Dante Cephas, wide receiver, last week had 100 yards against Washington. He looks really good, and he's going to be a problem for those defensive backs to cover, like Mark said, on some deep shots that that they're going to take because that's what they want to take.
It's a little similar to – sorry.
No, yeah, they have great wide receivers. Ted Roof said some of these guys could play in the NFL. They have a really good deep ball. Like Mark said, I'm really excited to see the secondary play this week. They have cute little tricky plays on one of the touchdowns they should have had that got called back. Really good touchdown play where quarterback was mobile, stopped in the middle of his stride and threw the touchdown pass. I'm really excited to see this team. They're a bowl team. They were a bowl team last year. They're, probably going to give us more run for our money, but we should be able to handle them pretty easily.
Matt, Ryan?
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. I mean, what else do they have to lose? I mean, like you mentioned, I think they have one team before Georgia, but that's their 4th game. So, they're about to be most likely 1-3 at the end of the 4 weeks playing against some top teams, even though they are getting a lot of money. But they were 10-17 on third down efficiency. They had about 340 yards, but they also gave up over 500 yards of offense to Washington, who's not really known to be an offensive team, even though they do have transfer quarterback from Indiana. I don't remember his name.
Michael
Penix.
Michael Penix Jr.
I'm glad I didn't say it. Mark, thank you so much for stepping in, man. You are just a man. My thing is what you talked about, Mason, was the mobility of the quarterback. OU's had some problems in the past. He had 8 carries, 47 yards. I just want to see the containment, make sure people are getting their gaps and their assignments, especially on the defensive end. And we already talked about they're going to take shots. They're going to have trick plays. has our defense handled that? But our team also has an offense that has that up tempo. So hopefully this will be a good test because we see it all the time in practice.
Ryan,
I want to
anything
clean
add?
one thing up
Yeah,
that I
go ahead.
said. So OU is only paying 1.5 million. Kent State is making 5.2 from the
Yeah.
threesome of us, Georgia, and Washington. My bad on that.
All good.
What a threesome there.
Before we get to Ryan, I do want to mention Kent State stayed in the state of Oklahoma all week.
Yeah.
They practiced in my hometown where I'm at right now, Tulsa, Oklahoma, at Union High School. So they're going to bus over to Norman on Friday, but they've been in Tulsa the whole week. So I think that's kind of a weird thing that they didn't go back to Ohio. It's not like it's hard to travel anymore, but they decided to stay in Oklahoma for the week. So that's just kind of a little wrinkle to think about. It doesn't mean anything, but it's just a cool little factoid. They stayed in Oklahoma. Ryan, go ahead.
And you want to finish?
I was going to ask Mason if you were going to show them around Tulsa, give them like a little bit of a tour, tell them places to go.
From the looks of it, they already did some really cool stuff. They went to the Greenwood Cultural Center in downtown Tulsa, which is Black Wall Street, a memorial for Black Wall Street in the 1922 race massacre. So they went and saw that stuff. They did a lot of cool things in Tulsa to see. So Ryan?
Yeah. So you guys have covered everything pretty much. The only thing that I want to say is calling your offense flash fast when you're the Golden Flashes is kind of sick. I just it's kind
I'll
of cool.
respect it.
All time alliteration. All time.
So
They
that's
did
all I want to say.
They did great. Ryan or Mark, do you have something to add?
Did y'all know that their running back was second team All MAC last year?
No, not until you just said that.
Yeah, right. I just, doing some quick on the spot Googling and found that. And that's kind of fun. It seems like their offense is a little bit similar to ours, where they're going to take their shots, and they've also got a back. We have two, but one really big 230-pound one. That's really good. And they'll be able to run the football too some. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's a good little challenge.
Okay. So before we move on out of the Kent State stuff, I want to do what we did last week. Everybody kind of give me a little prediction or something that you want to see happen during the game, and I'll get us started. For me, I want to see Dylan Gabriel go over 300 yards passing.
Yep.
It's not like indicative of how his season's going to go if he doesn't throw for 300. But Michael Penix Jr. last week tore this Kent State defense apart, picked them apart for 15-yard pass after 15-yard pass after 10-yard pass. He continued to just eat away at them. And I want to see Dylan do that because, like I mentioned in the postgame pod, Dylan wanted to take a lot of shots downfield where I didn't think he needed to. I think he could have taken that 10-yard pass that could have turned into a 20-yarder. He could have taken some easier throws instead of trying to go deep every single time. Not that he went deep every single time, but you know what I mean. So I want to see Dylan be a little more decisive on the shorter routes, try to take the wins when you can get them, as opposed to chalking up a play for a loss. Check downs. That's where I'm at. All right, boys. Who wants to go next? Patrick, go ahead.
For me, yeah. Biggest thing is no 3-and-outs. I don't want to see a 3-and-out this week. That's just something that really killed us
On the
last
offensive
week.
side.
On the offensive side of
Yes.
things. Yeah, on the offensive side of things, of course. Other things would just be continue to see the offensive line keep up with the tempo. And then on the defensive side, continue to see that awesome rush defense.
Yeah.
Matt?
One prediction. Let's make 4, Patrick. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Well, they were quick.
They were quick. They were.
I'm going to the defensive side. I want to see multiple turnovers by this defense. Kent State gave up 3 interceptions. We have yet to get a fumble or some kind of turnover. I want to see it. Multiple turnovers for the D. Let's get it.
We got an interception last
Yeah,
week.
one interception.
One interception.
Want to see multiple. in one game.
He was thinking garbage time.
He
So
was.
he doesn't
Yeah.
count
Right.
it.
Fair.
Sorry,
It's fair.
Gentry. I count it, Gentry.
I appreciate
Tulsa,
the
Oklahoma.
follow-up. The follow-up. Yep.
Ryan,
I want to see the secondary play better. I don't want to be 10 yards off the ball. I feel like we're probably going to be again, because I feel like this is a similar situation that we were in last week, or we're going to be in a similar situation. But I just want us to play a bit more aggressively in the secondary.
I feel like it's going to be even more so than it was last week because they're going to try not to get beat deep.
Yeah,
I think they're going to play a lot of
Yeah.
zone.
I just
and-
want to see this. I'm not saying I'm going.
I
to
know.
see this.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I agreed. I would love to see some press man and just see what these corners are made of, but who knows?
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, so mine is, do we see the freshman receivers? That's something that Brent Venables said after the game last week was we are going to see some of these younger guys get in the game. Some they're going to get to play. Just give it time and it's going to happen. It didn't really happen last week, even though we got up and stayed up. I wonder if this week maybe we push it a little early so that Jaden Gibson can get in the game, Nick Evers can get in the game. If they're not planning on redshirting some of those tight ends or either of those tight ends, let them get in the game. Obviously, Javante Barnes is going to play because he played last week, but maybe Gavin Sawchuk too. I guess this started with freshman receivers and just turned into freshmen.
Yeah.
Lubby said he didn't do a good enough job at that. I'm just keeping track of getting everyone in as possible.
point.
The end of we didn't have a lot of possessions in the second half, so
Yeah.
it was tough. Getting them in early is key.
Good point, Patrick. Really good point. All right. Let us know in the comments down below what you expect from the OU and Kent State game. What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? Leave it down below and be sure to subscribe to the channel while you're there. We read every comment that's there, even the bad ones. We read them all.
The really
So-
mean ones.
Yeah, even the
sometimes.
really mean ones, but it's okay. We appreciate you watching. No, all press is good press, right? Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Want to mention the captains real quick. They're changing for the second straight week. Eric Gray, Woody Washington, Murray, Grimes, Weiss. Those are the 5 captains that will be out there this week. 5 completely new guys. So I know Mark's not crazy about it,
Yep.
but it gets more guys opportunities to be out there.
So, okay, I want to clean that up too, because
Okay.
I guess I feel better about it now that it's a brand new 5.
Okay.
I was more like, all right, is Dylan Gabriel always a captain and Braden Willis always a captain?
Mhm.
But then Justin Broyles, you got your shot, champ.
Yeah.
And then that week it goes to Woody Washington. That's where I was a little like shook up about it. This is cool, I guess. Everyone gets a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat my words on this one too, because we talked a lot of trash about this and said we didn't like the process. But
I didn't talk trash about it.
No, I'm pretty sure you did, Ryan. No, you're right.
I
Mark
didn't.
and I are on
Yeah.
the same side.
We were,
Everyone
yeah.
else
Two-
wasn't.
just
You're
you two
right.
lovebirds.
Just us two,
Yeah.
Mark. And
And I don't. Would something be wrong with that?
No, nothing.
nothing.
Oh,
Cool.
That's cute.
sweet.
That's nice.
And
Because
anyways,
Patrick and I
Brent
have something
Venables
to
was
say.
asked about this last week, and he didn't really give a good answer. But this week, he was asked about it again, and he gave an incredible answer. And there was, of course, method to the madness that we didn't see coming. But he was like, "Yeah, I don't want anyone to get too comfortable."
I saw it coming.
And you're amazing, Ryan. You saw it coming, like total hipster.
No, keep going,
And,
Pat. Keep going.
No,
Go off, King.
No, yeah, he was just saying, I don't want anyone to get too comfortable. It's an honor to be the captain of the Oklahoma football team. If we choose people at the beginning of the year, in a month from now, that might not be the leader that we need or that we want. So changing it up is good every week. But what really stuck with me was he was asked, well, like, when's the vote? When are they going to be solidified as captains? And are they going to be captains next year then as well? And he said, they're going to be picked to be captains for the championship.
Mhm.
And that's what stuck with
Championship
me the
November.
most. Yep.
Championship November. Phase 4, I believe, is what he called it.
Yeah.
I think that's he numbered the phases, I think, but championship November is the final phase, I guess, or one of the final. Yes, Mark.
I need someone to explain that to me. Y'all are just like, yeah, championship November. That's
This
when
is,
we're doing it.
Actually,
November is a month.
Well, like at the start of November, like
they always say
like
championship
when,
November.
Yeah, just
start.
when November starts. You know.
Okay, so we're saying we're gonna have a vote on the captains
Yes.
at the start of November.
It'll
Yes.
probably be
Yes.
the Baylor game, November 5th.
Yeah.
That will be when they like set them, and then they'll set them for
Correct.
the next 4 games.
I got a tingle down my back when you said November 5th, the Baylor game.
So great.
Oh,
So great. Beautiful.
I want to. One thing I want to say though to this is, what are they going to do about the big games, right? Like Nebraska and Texas, like those are 2 in particular. that are they just going to keep rotating like
I feel like we're
5
going to
each
see
time?
a mix of these guys for
I think-
Nebraska.
I
Like,
think
you're
the
not
way
going to
that
you're not going to put your quarterback as your
I
captain.
bet
for the
Dylan is a
Texas game?
captain tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, for like a Nebraska game or the Texas
Yeah.
game, like you're not going to do that.
I don't know. I feel
I
like
don't
the Brent's whole MO this entire time has been one, everything matters. That's a quote
Yeah.
that we hear all the time. So I don't think anything is going to change for any specific game. I think he's going to treat every game the same, and they're going to have 5 new ones until we get to November every single time. That's just what I think. Or the guys who earn it, because, you know, say they have Dylan Gabriel out there, no one's going to complain. He's going to be like, yeah, he earned it. So
Mhm.
it's just going to, I think it's going to be dependent on what they see in practice, what they see on the tape, and all that stuff, who performs the way they want them to. But I wouldn't be surprised to see 5 new ones every single week. And I don't think a Texas game or a Nebraska game matters to them. I just don't. That's the way I
Guess
feel.
we'll find out next week.
We will find out next week.